When people talk about culture shock and act surprised by it, that in itself surprises me. Why? Because within your country, when you move from one village to another, there are bound to be differences. Now, think about moving 10,000 miles or more away from your country. There are bound to be culture shock. But what are these culture shock that we experience? As a Nigerian, although we are a very populous country, but I've never felt that there are so many people in the country until I got to China. You see, the concept of space is non-existent. But we love it. Why? Because the more people you find in a particular place, the more lively it is. And that's the reason why. Wherever it's lively is where you find a lot of people. So if you're the type that love your space, you better be living in the suburbs because ain't no one giving you no space. Now, talking about food, coming from Nigeria where we have over 200 ethnic groups, I mean, when it comes to food, we are dynamic. We have lots of dishes. But coming over to China, I realized that where our dynamism stops, that's where that of China begins. When it comes to food, they go all in. I mean, all in. Of course, there are a lot of misconceptions that Chinese eat all sorts of things, from the flies to lizards to alligators to snakes and cockroaches and all of that. Although I understand why many people would think that because of the varieties of food they have and the varieties of things they eat, but I mean, we all know that that's exaggerated. From the country where I come from, we have a lot of special dishes, even up to the point of eating goat head called isiewu, a very special delicacy originating from the eastern part of Nigeria. But the Chinese people, they take it a step further. I've seen delicacies like pig's brain, chicken feet, snakes, frogs. And don't get me wrong, these things are not bad to eat. As long as it does your body no harm, go for it. The battle of the bill. Now, there's quite an understanding in Nigeria that when the bill comes, the person who is the oldest somehow pays, or the person who is the most influential, or the person with the most resource, or whoever has invited someone pays. I went to have dinner with my Chinese friends, and when the bill came, it was chaos, and I was wondering what was going on. But I later realized they were just struggling to be the one to pay for the bill. Really? Like, really? There's something they call mianzi, which means face, to save face. The show of generosity and saving face is very important in the Chinese culture. You always have to hold yourself in high esteem. When you lose face in China, you are almost like a nobody. And that's what everyone is gonna avoid. The "are you full" paradox. Are you full? Are you full? Yeah, I'm full. Thank you so much. And just when I say thank you so much, they order more. Is it that my Chinese isn't good enough, or my expression means something else? I said, I'm full, why order more? And then they force you to eat, keep eating, keep eating. But I got to learn that in the Chinese history, there was a time of famine where many people didn't have food to eat. So when they meet their neighbor or their friends or their family, they always ask, "Nchulama?" And while they are eating, they ask you, "Nchubaholama?" They don't just take your yes as an answer because they feel you're trying to be very polite. Although you say, yes, I'm full, they're just going to keep ordering for more until you cannot eat any longer. So at first, I used to get upset when they keep asking me the same question over and over again. I'm like, cut the crap. But over time, I got used to it. If you cannot beat them, you join them. The digital world. I was exposed to the digital world so early on when I was in Nigeria. But when I came to China, I experienced the digital world in a different level. And the amount of comfort that comes with that can never be matched. If I think back to the last time I ever held cash, I probably wouldn't remember. Maybe a year or two. Everything can be done from your phone. I mean, everything. I'm talking about from ordering food, to ordering taxis, to buying of things online, to paying people their money, to using the bus, to using the subway, to using the train, to booking your flights. Everything is done online. all of these are normal, but that's not what blew my mind. What blew my mind was just one app that could do everything. And that app is WeChat. I'm very sure you have seen it on app stores or on certain platforms, but WeChat is the most amazing app I have ever used or ever seen. Just think about anything, you can do it with WeChat. You want to transfer money? WeChat. You're looking for an apartment to rent? You can search for it on WeChat and pay. You're looking for something to buy? WeChat. Oh, I need a quick drink from the store downstairs. WeChat. I want to buy groceries. WeChat. I want to use a bus. WeChat. Ladies and gentlemen, if I'm looking for a wife, I probably might go to WeChat. That's how good the app is. It can do everything. And for the things that it cannot do, it incorporates those apps into its platform as a third-party app. That's how amazing WeChat is. In China, if you have no WeChat, maximum, you can only survive 1 week. And after that, you would be looking for WeChat to download. The concept of taking tea. Now, Chinese people love tea because they discuss business over tea. They discuss with friends at the tea table. When you go to the office of Chinese people, or the company of Chinese people, or the factory of Chinese people, they always have a room with a setup for tea. Chinese even have a culture for tea. They teach the tea culture. So when you come to discuss business, they offer you tea. 喝茶. And I'm not even going to dive into the different kinds of tea. Red tea, green tea, white tea, black tea. That's a whole culture on its own. That's a topic for another day. If you go to the office of any Chinese person, you're going to find a setup like this for tea. In fact, they have a room majorly made for taking tea. That's where the discussions are made. That's where the business are discussed. That's where friends gist over stuff. When I first got introduced to tea, everything tastes like water. I mean, tasteless. But over time, I could tell the difference between tea. And you know what's most amazing about the tea culture? A lot of them can tell the difference between quality tea and shit tea. And for the younger Chinese people, of course, we all know young people love things that are sweet. So they prefer a different variation of tea, which is milk tea and a whole lot of variation. And even for those kind of teas, they have specialized shops just for teas. Different brands of teas. Amazing. Is China a place I recommend you to travel to 100%? It has its own negative sides, which I've also had my own share of. The negative side of it doesn't help me, so I just do not care about those stuff. And I just focus on the positive things and things that help my life. So if you want to come to China and you need recommendation, just leave a comment in the comment section. Now there are also parts of it that I didn't really get adapted to and I'm still struggling, which was the excessive spitting and the smoking and the excessive drinking. But again, like I said, I don't just care about them. I just move on and do my stuff. Now, if you've ever traveled to China, lived in China, or is still living in China and there are certain culture shock you experience, you can leave a comment in the comment section. But for now, 再见.